Hey everybody, it's Missy Wolf with Center Stage Magazine, and we are here with Mason Douglas. How are you?
Doing good. So far, so good.
So far, so good.
Let's see how we do.
It's like the first weekday after our holiday weekend.
Yeah.
So how you doing this morning?
I did all right. I had something along the way that gave me a little bit of food poisoning, but today
no.
I'm good. So I don't know what it was, and I'm not going to tell the rest of the family about it. I feel like everybody's dealing with it silently and not telling anybody else. But
Okay, so we don't know which part of the Thanksgiving meal it was,
we
but
don't.
it was something.
No. So I haven't had my leftover turkey sandwich yet because I'm afraid.
Yeah, you know, I might not want to do that either. No, in fact, I might just get rid of mine now because I don't want to deal with that.
You're probably safe. Yeah.
Okay, I know we have to talk about music, but because it was just Thanksgiving and we have Christmas coming up, I want to know what your family traditions are. Like, what's your favorite, like, Thanksgiving and Christmas tradition?
We don't really have a lot. I have a very small nuclear family, so we never had the big, giant get-togethers where everybody had that ritual or that routine. We had a few where the family would come out from Tucson and Dallas and come see us, and we did some of those internet games, like, you wrap the present in the tape ball or whatever, and you have to get it off with mittens and those sort of things. And so we started doing a few of those when people are at our house. We'll make them dive into that sort of thing. But otherwise, I have a 2-year-old, and he's just getting into Christmas now, so we're thinking about the things we're going to instill in him and the traditions and fun stuff we're going to get going with him. But the boring part is that, my family doesn't have a whole lot. We're pretty classic and traditional. We just like we open a little gift the night before and Christmas Eve, and then we just get up and make breakfast and open presents, do the stockings and that whole thing. And so it's nice and classic and traditional.
I love that. Now, do you have a favorite Christmas movie?
Oh, absolutely. Elf is by far number one. Right behind it is Christmas Vacation. So those are the two automatic ones. And then we got into. I never seen Santa Claus. I never saw Jingle All the Way. Is that the one with Schwarzenegger?
Yeah.
So he's trying to find the toy, and so my wife made me watch those a couple of years back, and so there were a lot I missed out on growing up.
Yes.
I was just sticking to Christmas Vacation, and that was it. So I got to get refreshed the past couple of years.
I love that.
It's been fun. I stay away from the Hallmark stuff though. It's
a
little cheesy for me.
You know what? I don't sit there and watch the Hallmark Channel. To me, all of the stories are kind of the same. They're all going to end up the same way. But I like the Family Stone. That's the one that we watch. And if you haven't seen that one, you need to see it because you're going to laugh. It's hysterical. It's so funny.
I have not seen that.
Oh my gosh. Okay, I love introducing people to that movie. So everybody at home, if you haven't seen the Family Stone, you need to watch it. But let's talk about your music. What do you got going on? First of all,
lots and lots. Always something going on musically. This day and age, we released a single called "I Miss America." So we have a project called I Miss America. You've seen the billboards around town. There's merch set up for it. We got a video starring the great Miss Victoria Jackson, who's one of my favorite people in this town. And we're just trying to really the underlying message is just to any and everybody, less fighting, more uniting.
Yes,
it's about
absolutely.
time we get that through our heads. Everybody wants to fight right now. Everybody is starting to border on violence. Obviously, there's pockets of it here and there that we see. But I thought about it when my kid was born, and I said, you know what, this is not the world that I want him to have to deal with. And I'm not I'm a military brat. I grew up in an Air Force household, but I never served, so I can't really go say that I'm going over there with my, to go fight for America with my ammo and my guns and everything, but I am a musician, and I can say something through music and write a song about it, get the music out there, get the message, hopefully turn a head or two, and just get people thinking that, hey, maybe there needs to be a better way. If we haven't found it yet, we need to figure it out and get the conversation rolling.
And I think within your song, too, you touch on the fact that people forgot what this freedom cost, and I think so many people need to be reminded of that, you can have your opinions and your thoughts and your feelings. We all can. Stop being so hateful when somebody's doesn't match yours.
Absolutely, yeah.
And that's the one thing that I just, on the outside looking in, I don't care what your views are. If you're a nice person, you treat me great. I don't care who you voted for. I don't care who you're going to vote for. I just want you to be a nice person, and I want to be a nice person in return. And I think that too many people are focused on titles and not just the human being that they're interacting with. And it's really sad to me that we've lost a lot of that.
Absolutely. And I heard it said best, I forgot if it was a famous phrase, but somebody just said, look at the person, not the politics.
Yeah.
And if that person is doing the right thing and treating you the right way, then it doesn't matter what their politics are.
Yeah.
That's all the better to have the conversation, actually. Said,
Yes.
oh, you know what? Hey, you're a great person. Let's talk about this. Let's
Yeah.
open it up. That way we can have something civil and meaningful rather than just, this is what gets me, just name calling, having no point and saying, well, you know what? I don't agree with you. You're just this and that. And you're like,
I
well, that
hate that.
that does not get us anywhere. You're
Nope.
just, and now I have to, kind of shut you down here.
Exactly.
But yeah, that's kind of the underlying message that we're going with for it. The video took a humorous take. We knew we could have gone serious, but probably not going to resonate as well than
Yeah.
by taking a little bit more satirical and fun approach to a very serious subject. And so we
Yeah.
went that way with the song, even though the song itself is pretty deadly serious. There's not a whole
Yeah.
lot of funniness in there, but the video hopefully took a little bit of left turn and brought that brought a little brevity to the
Yes.
conversation.
Now, did you have fun making music videos?
Oh yeah, it was a blast. I
Okay.
love being on any set. I do a lot of acting on the side I've done twice daily commercials and tire commercials.
Really?
And what was it? Tractor Supply, that was the one. And
Fun.
did some photo shoots there. And so yeah, I love acting. I was on the Nashville show as the sound guy for the Beverly. Chip, when Chip bought or I guess Deacon was his character when he
Yes.
bought the bar, the Beverly. I was the sound guy there, so that was pretty cool to be in
That's
those.
fun.
But I just love any set. The process fascinates me. You're in this little bubble, acting this little play, doing
Yeah.
shot after shot after shot. So it gets exhausting. You're tired,
Yes.
and you start to second guess yourself and think twice about what you're saying or doing. But then you see the end result, and you say, "Okay, I get where they were going with that." Now
Yeah.
the director had that certain eye and a vision, or I didn't see what was going on behind me. In this video, there's all kinds of crazy crap I never even got to see because it was going on behind me.
Right.
And then later on in the when we're looking at the footage, like, oh man, that was so
Yeah.
amazing, and everybody else is cracking up, and I never got to see it. On this video, there's so much stuff on the cutting room floor. I hope they make a blooper reel or something
Oh,
because
that
it
would
was
be
just
great.
hours and hours of ingenious stuff. Everybody was an improv actor. Obviously, Victoria comes from the
Yeah.
SNL legacy back there, but we had guys from Oddity Improv. We had Jeff Bowen, so just everybody was on their tip-top game to bring something fun
That's
and
fun.
say, here's the scene, you all run with it, and they just bounced off each other, and it was crazy. It was a good
Now,
time.
how did you get involved in that?
I wrote with my buddy Clarence happened to see me at the listening room playing. God, it had been years ago now, and he just came up and said, "Man, love what you do. Let's write." And the typical Nashville handshake, and
Yeah.
I said, "All right, let's do it." And Clarence, he wrote and produced "Friday" for Rebecca Black. I don't know if you remember that song, but billions, just absolute viral, phenomenal hit here. And so just going to his studio and hanging out with him. He's an absolute genius in the music biz and knows everything, and great musician as well. So we started writing, we started talking. We seemed to have the same ideas and ideals and values that each person had, and we started talking about our kids and in America, and we're just like, yeah, you know what, man, I miss growing up that way, and I said, you know what, actually, I got this title in my pocket. It's not about the pageant, but it's called Miss America,
Right.
and the hook would be I Miss America.
Yeah.
And he's like, I love it, let's do it. And yeah, a couple days later, track was done. We had all the vocals down and all
Wow,
the lyrics
that's
out,
fast.
and yeah, it was pretty quick. We had the chorus right away. Just had to think a little bit about those lyrics. Had to say, okay,
Yeah.
where's this coming from? What are we going to say here?
Right, right.
Once those started flowing, then it was a piece of cake. Got it down. But yeah, and then some other guys that we knew, they loved the message. Like, let's make a movement out of this. Let's make a campaign, an entire movement. Try
That's
to get the message out there bigger than just an indie artist releasing an indie single that's going to get
Yep.
lost on Spotify, get a couple hundred spins, and nobody see it. Let's go out and actually try to make some things happen with this. So it's slowly grown. We're at 1 million views across platforms, so we're getting there. But we're still
Yeah.
looking for that spark. We still want that thing where it's talked about and just all
Right.
all over the world to get people just understanding that, hey, it's that guy around the corner, that guy across the store, that
Yep.
person over there, they're not always the enemy.
Right.
We get fed the outside fringe so much that the song is really talking about, and the message of the song is, yeah, but the other 96% of people are pretty normal and worth having a conversation with, and
Yeah.
they're the ones who are going to make these things happen.
Absolutely. And you know what? Perspective. You can gain a lot of perspective if you just shut your mouth and listen to somebody else speak
yeah.
for a minute. And I really do wish more people would do that. And, you know, and also the internet trolls, y'all need to stop. Like the internet trolls, they just they take so much joy and so much attention away from good positive things by just being so negative. Then everybody jumps on the bandwagon and they start fighting, and it's like before you know it, like the entire intent of your post is just
Absolutely.
gone. It's just gone.
In this case, we found all the trolls live on TikTok. So YouTube
Okay,
and
yes,
Facebook
yes.
aren't that, the percentage is far more positive than negative, but on TikTok,
Oh, yeah.
they're ready to pounce for
Oh,
anything
yeah.
you have to say red, white, and blue, man. They don't want to hear it. And it's absolutely amazing.
I know. And not even just that. I mean, they're just mean about everything. So many people, like, you could be a female wearing a cute little outfit and somebody says, oh my God, why does she look 50? Well, that's not, why did you have to say that? Like, just her outfit's cute and she's pretty. What does it matter? Like,
Exactly,
why do you have to try to ruin somebody's day? It's about giving compliments, not giving,
Well, I have to say something important from my basement down here. So,
Yeah, right.
yeah,
There are lots of people in
drives
those
me nuts.
basements.
Yep.
Sorry, I could go on and on and on about this.
So can they.
Yes. Well, it's really sad to see when you see somebody trying to do something positive, trying to remind the world, remind the world of the good things that are there and what we used to do and what we used to have, the values that are missing now. It's really, really, really sad when somebody just comes in and just tries to destroy it all. And it's like, all we're trying to do is be positive people and help grow and teach our kids that, you know what, life can be an amazing thing. It can be an amazing journey full of good, wonderful moments if you let it, if you try for it.
Yeah, and the amazing thing is they'll put words into your mouth about stuff you're not even saying. And we're saying the message, and the video reflects all races, all genders, all ideologies.
Yep.
We're not specifically saying one or the other. Now, people are going to process it a certain way. They're probably going to say, well, leaning a little bit to the right. Well, okay, I happen to be a registered conservative myself, so I'm going to do that. But the secret is that's okay. That's okay for me to think that. It's okay for anybody else to think the way they think.
Yeah.
Now, when you start bringing a knife and gun out to my street and you demand I change
Exactly.
my thought, then that's where we're going to have a little bit of an issue. But
Exactly.
it's okay if we think that way. And the cool part is, if you find those right people, you can sit down, you can have a beer. Hopefully not too many, otherwise it might get crazy. But you can sit down and have a drink and talk about what should be done and what we need to do to fix things. So yeah, but it doesn't matter. We're not trying to change what everybody thinks. We're not saying think one way or the other. It is simply, I always go back to the first line of the chorus. I miss the old days when we came together and we'd all say, let's make it better. And that's plain and simply it.
Yeah. And, when I was a little girl, I think I was like 8 or 9 years old, my mailman, I asked him who he was voting for. And, he scolded me, because this was Reagan's second term. It was like everybody was getting ready to, I just gave my age away. Damn it.
Well, I got it from the trolls on TikTok.
Oh,
so
see,
you're okay.
there you go. Probably the same one that said I needed a whole case of wrinkle cream. But it's okay. It's fine. I'm fine. And I don't need all that wrinkle cream. But no, my mailman scolded me when I was a little girl about asking him who he was voting for. And I thought, I was devastated. I was crushed. I loved my mailman. He was I used to put presents in the mailbox for him all the time. I absolutely loved. So when he scolded me, I was heartbroken. And I didn't get it until Trump's first election, the first election yes. But that's when I finally understood what he meant, because I watched the world just start crumbling. Like everybody just started hating and ridiculing and name calling. And it was just, I get it now. Like if you just don't talk about it and it's not there, like people just don't talk about it, then, you're going to get along more. And I really wish people would just leave it out of everything at this point, because all it does is fuel fires.
Yeah, exactly. But if it's out there, we might as well say what you think on it.
I know, exactly. It's one of those things. But what else do you have coming up? Where can fans find you? What can they look forward to?
So yeah, I'm always releasing music all the time. I do projects for other artists, for myself. I do demos for songwriters just across the board. I do consultations for the music business. I do releasing an app right now on some of the books that I've written. So I'm just
wait. Some of the books you've written. How many books have you written?
Written 2. So
okay,
but it is more than one. So
okay. No, I'm just like, I can't even think about writing one. Every time I think about it, it's overwhelming, and I just put down the pen. I can't do
It's
it.
tough. You just got to start writing, and then you can always go back and fix what you just wrote. So you just got to start,
Yeah.
and once you get into it, you realize, oh, I should have started here, and you can go back and edit that. But mine are on Nashville pop culture. I love where random crazy crap happened in Nashville.
Yeah.
Songs were written, people were born or died, or murders occurred, or anything crazy like that. But
Yeah.
I give you the exact spot and houses there where things occurred. So some of them are
Wow.
private property. Got to be nice, be respectful on that. I also
Yeah.
had celebrity houses. Fine line these days with all the doxing. So I'm trying to figure out the best way to go about that.
Yeah.
But most likely it's the Apple. The book it was no holds barred. I kind of just
Yeah.
came out prior to the doxing thing becoming an issue a few years back. So now I'm like, yeah, that's a little too
Right.
close to home, especially because I know some of the people now. And so it's going to be, if you can find it on a Gray Line tour, or it was in a headline on a newspaper, then it will be
Right,
it will make
okay.
the app. Otherwise, if it's too deep and buried, then
Yeah,
you're not gonna
it's gonna keep
not
it there.
gonna release it. So. But yeah, we'll have celebrity houses, we'll have food, we'll have history, all kinds of the cool stuff.
Wow.
And it's not going to be like the cool thing about the app will be, or about my books. And the app will be that it's not just the typical stuff you find on your general tour. Okay, here's Tootsie's Orca Lounge and anything. You'll see that, it'll be there,
Yeah.
but here's the story about Crazy. Here's the story about all the
Right.
debauchery that happened in the back of the room. Here's also a random house that you drive by all the time on Franklin Avenue, 8th Avenue, and but it's where Roy Orbison wrote Pretty Woman. You would never
Oh,
know that
okay,
he wrote that
yeah.
in the attic of that house right there, where Chattahoochee was written,
Wow.
where the dance was written. Those kind of just random
Yeah.
spots that he would never know took place in these places that you pass by all the time. So that's the cool part about
Yeah.
that's called Now You Know Nashville. And but put my heart and soul into it years back, and I'm like, you know what? Rather than print a new third edition, let's just do an app. Let's get it on your phone and have
Yeah.
people point their way to it.
Oh, that's fun. That's exciting. That's. I mean, do you have a lot of support from your family on this as well? Like, do they
yeah.
help you with research at all?
No, my wife, my family loves it when it comes out, but I give my wife proofs to read, and she's not an avid reader, so it takes
Oh,
a
I'm
little
not
while,
either.
so I have to send it elsewhere. I'm like, well, okay, she's not going to get to it for a few years, so I'll have to. But she's always very supportive and makes sure she makes sure that copies get sold to everybody
Yes.
needs to get sold to. But
That's good.
yeah, and as far as the research, it's all me. I'm the one with the passion. I'm the one who's like, oh my God, this happened here. But then I'll tell her, and she'll be like, neat. But then she'd be like, like a couple weeks later, I looked like a rock star to my friends because we were driving by that one place, and I told them what happened in that place. They thought that was the coolest thing.
Oh, that's
I'm
awesome.
like, see, handy info when you need it.
Right. Knowledge is power.
Exactly, yeah. It makes it look super cool.
I still don't want to read any books, though, guys. I hate reading. I absolutely. You know what? I was tortured as a child. That was my punishment growing up. If I ever did
Oh.
anything wrong, it was go to your room and read a book and give me an oral book report.
Oh,
I
man.
hate reading. Don't do that to your kids, you guys. Just don't do that to them.
My parents could not ground me because I just go to my room and read, and I loved it. I was like, oh, hell yeah, I'm out of here. I'm going to go camp up here for a few weeks. And how long am I grounded? A week? 2 weeks? 2 days? What? Okay, all right. So they couldn't
Man.
do it because I was I
Well,
love reading. Yeah.
You would have loved my punishments then, like for sure. Oh my gosh. Isn't that funny how two people can have two completely different experiences and just have completely different views because of it? Like it's like all regarding reading. You had a completely different upbringing and they couldn't ground you. And that was like the worst punishment in the world for me. It's just so funny to me how people can be so different in such similar
They
situations.
should have just sent me out to like pull weeds or wash the cars. I'm like, no,
Yeah.
I don't
Yeah.
want to do that.
I would have been fine pulling weeds. That's what I did all the
See,
time.
all right, yeah,
I'm
that
good
would've
with that.
driven me
Gardening
nuts.
is fine,
No.
but reading, no. I've had the title to my book written for like about 15 years though now.
Mm-hmm.
So
What's the title?
anything but normal.
All right, is it a biography?
Yes.
Okay, cool.
Yes.
Well, I was reading
know,
up on,
clearly.
you can get GPT to
I
now,
have that. I know.
You can have them to do an outline about my life. Give me
I was
15
thinking about
chapter
that the other
headlines.
day, and then I was like, no, somebody's gonna know. Somebody's gonna call me out. They're gonna know I cheated.
Well, you can just
And
get
here
get the outline of it, and then you can base on those
Yeah.
outlines to see.
See, look, he's co-signing my BS, you guys.
There you go.
It's great. Oh, oh my gosh, I love it. Now, when are you going to be performing next?
Actually, I don't have any official dates. Everything's a private party at this point, so nothing
Hey, that's
anybody can
cool,
come see
though.
me at. But usually, I am so. Again, I did my heyday of artistry back a long time ago. Was on a couple labels and did that and did the touring. I've been enjoying being in the studio for a few years
Yeah.
now and just being writing behind the scenes. So I've been kind of quiet on the performance outlet. But when I do, you can find me at the Listening Room, at the Bluebird Cafe, and then just random writers' nights that pop up around
Okay, that's what I was going to ask, the
around
writer's
town.
nights.
But I'm up for any gigs. I love private house concerts. I toured on those for many years,
Aren't
which are
those
the
so much
best
fun?
gig. I still talk to so many people that I met through the house concerts that are still now just like legitimate friends
Yeah.
that text and say, "Hey, what's up?" And they just started off as people coming to these shows, and
Yep.
far more than the bar gigs or club gigs, because those
Right.
are just like, "Who's that guy who played last night again? I was so drunk." So, a little bit different experience between those. But house concerts, intimate, private,
Yep.
like they'll just be right in front of you. However many people, and listening to the stories, and it's like a bluebird every time you go somewhere.
Yeah.
So I love house shows, but always available for those, and bring some friends if needed. And
There you go.
but otherwise, yeah, you can find me on masondouglasmusic.com is my site. But we'd also love to get everybody going to imissamerica.com. Check that out. There's first thing, just get signed up on the newsletters of inspiring stories about family, military, community. Say, all right, the world is not as completely effed up as we think. Here's some good stuff. Here's
There
some
you
good
go.
news. A lot of military involvement as well. We also have some merch out there, trying to get it set up where proceeds from that. Once things get to a certain level, are going to military causes as well.
Okay.
Because again, we're just now getting this thing rolling, so we need all the
Yeah.
help we can get. Get yourself a hat, T-shirt. We want for the movement. That's more of a message out there, not so much red hat versus vagina hat or anything like that. It's more of, if you see the I Miss America hat. You don't have a vagina hat, do you? All right, you're good. I got one.
I just pictured all of those hats that I had seen all over social media. I'm sorry, you guys. Yeah, no, those were terrible hats.
So,
I would never. I could never wear that on my head. I just don't understand.
even in that environment,
Oh.
couldn't do it. So.
Oh,
But we want, if you see the I Miss America hat or the logo
Yeah.
come, it's like, okay, that is like-minded and sane-minded individual
Yeah.
that's not fringe, one way or the other. And by talking fringe, we're talking that extreme headline garnering,
well,
sect of people that nobody really wants to deal with. But if you see the I Miss America, right, you can be like, okay, let's high five that guy. And so that's the kind of message we're bringing to everybody with that.
no, that's great. And honestly, I mean, that's such a good cause too. There's so many military causes out there that help families, help the students, fallen soldiers. There's so many great companies. So hopefully you'll get to narrow that down, because there's so many. Hopefully
absolutely.
you'll get to narrow it down and pick a good one to help.
That was my upbringing, was fighter pilots. My dad was a F-4 fighter pilot in Vietnam. He taught A-10s at Davis Monthan in Tucson, Arizona. So that's how I grew up, was with
Yeah.
all those guys and all around the house all the time, and that kind of sentiment. But the big thing is that people don't always understand the family element of that too. What the families are going through.
Oh my
moving
gosh.
as a kid, I moved every 3 years.
Yeah.
Got used to making new friends and finding new bullies and all that good stuff. And
Yep.
and the families had to move as well. The wives were pretty much
Yeah.
taking care of the kids, or vice versa. If the wife was in the service, then it was the husband's taking
Yeah.
care of it. And so there's a big, giant lifestyle that you have
Yeah.
to get used to be involved in the military. So we're going to hopefully get involved in a lot of those aspects as well as things take off with the company.
Well, I love that, and I hope it goes really well. I mean, I feel like the way that our country is, and more people are being vocal about stop the nonsense, stop the extremism on one side or the other, and let's just get back to being united and friends and community again. So
Absolutely. The big way to do that, and we're asking how. How do we do this? Okay, you got a song, great. Have we got
Yeah.
a message? Okay, great. First thing is we want everybody to educate themselves. Don't just believe the headline you see. Don't
Oh,
just believe
yeah.
whatever media outlet you're looking at. If you see something that interests you, go read up on everything you can
Yep.
about it. You will realize what's false, what's not, and then you will have the foundation for your argument, whatever it is, based on facts.
Yeah.
So the first thing is go find the facts. Don't just forward a headline or think about something that's
Exactly.
the way you want it to be, but go get your facts. That may even set them or you straight right off the bat.
Right.
But then you have the foundation. You don't have to go to name calling. You don't have to resort to just
Nope.
random, hey, you're an idiot because you think that, and trying to, confirmation bias, I think, is the term, where you try to skew things towards yourself. You may try to do that, but if you get the facts, if you lay them out, that will be the biggest thing. So education is probably first and foremost on that. We won't even dive into the how the education system itself is getting inundated right now, but that's a whole nother ball game. We got people working on that who are writing books and getting the word out there. But for us here at I Miss America, let's start with education, educating yourself past the headline and into the actual facts themselves. It will be so much better when you have that chat with your friends and neighbors, and keep it much more civil and intelligent sounding.
Absolutely. Well, you guys heard him. You know where to find him, so please be sure to check him out. Go watch the video. Add the song to your playlist, because sharing is caring. Adding it to the playlist helps the artist. You guys have no idea how much it helps, but it really does. So please go do that. And until next time, everybody, we'll see you soon.